Hello, everyone. How y'all doing? You having a good Sunday afternoon, I hope? Yeah, having a good weekend as well and all that? Yeah. You can probably notice I'm back to use... Okay, who was that? Chonka. Hey, Chonka. Chonka, you are always ripping ass every time you come into chat. Like, seriously. I'm not complaining. I just want to know why. And I know the answer. I know the answer. It's fart funny. Because listen. There's a single consistent fact in all of the human race. Toilet humor will never not be funny. And anyone who tells you it's not funny isn't human. They're probably reptile. Also, hello, Mega Man, Angry Badger. And I saw you going into lurk mode when the stream started, Iggy. Loud and toilet humor equals funny. Yes, that is true.
Squad deploying.
Nixon's Daydream. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Crusade. Yeah, no, that is true. Loud will always be funny. Toilet humor will always be funny. These are like objective facts. Like, yeah, you will never unchange that. The only people who disagree are either not human or don't have a sense of humor. Like, that's it. That's just the facts. Face blue smile. Oh, I'm sorry. The
Squad deploying.
Oh, Missing Link 91. Also, thank you for the follow. Welcome to Crusade. But yeah, no. Sorry. The YouTube emoji did not pop over as a emoji on the shared chat that I'm looking at. So yeah, but yeah, the truth. Yeah, exactly. That is just the truth. So yeah. So we're talking about talking Warhammer. So y'all see the latest drama that I caused. I do tend to do that a lot, don't I? Always happy to support a fellow son of Dorn. Thank you, man. Thank you. Dorn is the best Primarch. Like, listen, the Ultramarines saying, you know, we are the greatest is a cope. We all know that. We all know it's the Sons of Dorn. Collectively. Why am I in Space Marine form? Is Warhammer 40k back, and are we hopeful now? I mean, I generally am. I tend to be an optimist before anything else. But I will say this much. There's also the fact that people got it in their heads that, you know, people decided to, you know, hate the fact that, you know, I am a Warhammer fan and a fan of the Imperium. And I was deciding, you know what? My spite for people like that is stronger than my dislike for Games Workshop. So yeah, they will now have to live with the fact that I decided to go back to the Warhammer look because of them. I also like Warhammer, but still. Also, Doomslayer versus Master Chief came out, and all I could think of was both are God Emperor victims. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's just the rule. 40k would shit mix most of anything, right? Corvus Corax is such an emo baby too, though I love him so much. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, he's got more of an excuse to be emo. What with how he fucked up his whole Legion and all that with the Raptor project, you know? 1 son of Dorn, 2 sons of the Lion, 3 sons of Gilliman. Yeah, that's how many you need to get a job done. Yeah, it's like, listen, if you want it, hold on. If you want something broken, send a Dark Angel. If you want something broken or probably fucked, send a Space Wolf. If you want something done in XL, send an Ultramarine. If you just want something done, send a Son of Dorn. You were ranking them, but also yes, yeah. I didn't realize you were ranking them. I'm just dumb and you know, bad with numbers, but yeah. The Sons of the Line destroyed a Black Templar cruiser when we found a game they are no friend found a Fallen. Right, I think I remember that. I forget what story that's from. Later on, I may throw a 40K video game on. I don't know, but that'll be later. That'll be later. I just feel like yapping today. We had SWOTOR planned, but something came up. So yeah, today is yap. It is a yap day. Oh snap! The old avatar. Yeah, I will freely switch between. I will freely switch between. What do you call it? This one. And this one is I see fit. It's just a button push, depending on which one I want to do, which one I want to use. I've also got the more generic one, you know, as a fallback, just in case. I've never actually been approached by Games Workshop, in truth, about with a C&D. I got a fake C&D once, and I panicked over that. Then I found out it was fake. So yeah, I've got the more generic Space Crusader avatar on standby, in case, you know, that it comes to that. I mean, I'll gladly drag Games Workshop's name through the mud. I mean, if they do something like that, I'll say, hey, guess what? You're fucking your fans over again. You're really good at that, you know? It's gonna be Fire Warrior, isn't it? No, I would never willingly play Fire Warrior, like, ever. Even the last time I did it is because I was bribed to do it by CDAT. By the way, a little update on the tabletop mech game I'm doing, halfway through visibility rules and game loop. Nice. That was by the way, gotcha. Yeah, I read that. That was a neat idea. I like that idea. So playable draft should be done next week at this pace. Yeah, that's cool, man. Keep working on that. Keep working on that. One moment, everyone. Okay. Fucking fans over, just like with the pre-orders and ignoring people on X. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm guessing you probably saw that. Yeah, Games Workshop isn't posting on X anymore, or you know, X, formerly Twitter.com. They're not posting on there anymore. They haven't closed their Twitter account. They've basically abandoned it. Though to their credit, they haven't gone to Blue Sky. They just took, it looks like they just took, fucking Twitter out of their social media sources. They're focusing on, I think, Facebook and Instagram. But yeah, they aren't. I don't think they're posting on X anymore. I think it was Marius Gage on Twitter broke that news because he noticed they hadn't posted there since March. I don't know if it's like an official thing, jumping ship to their own website. Maybe. It could be anything from them actually abandoning Twitter to maybe they just fired their Twitter social media guy because, you know, let's be real here, the Warhammer community Twitter is kind of ass. Like, it's actually kind of ass. Remember, it was the Facebook social media guy that when somebody said they wanted female Space Marines, they just straight up and said no. Like, no elaboration. They just said no. They are active on Facebook, and they are active on Facebook and Insta. Yeah, they are. To be fair, X has no content filter on replies. You know, honestly, that's probably why, because... And it wouldn't surprise me if it was the female custodes thing that made them quit Twitter, just because... Well, I mean, not just that. People get way mad about a bunch of things, not just that. But, you know, actually, like, I mean, think about it. If they're not on Twitter, they don't have to, like, you know, answer to people mad about the, oh, burping, what the fuck? They don't have to answer to people mad about the whole thing with, you know, the pre-orders, because they fucked up those pre-orders super hard, like for the new Chaos stuff. It all got bought out. All got bought out by scalpers. Like all of it. I don't think there's any up for pre-order anymore. Hold on. Let me check this out. Noon exclusive. All pre-orders. Yeah, no, the special edition stuff, the combat patrols, and the new box sets are all gone. Like, in their entirety. Oh, wait, no, the World Eater's Combat Patrol is up. The Death Guard one's gone, though. Twitter algo is extremely favoring engagement bait. It's a cesspit about awful stuff. Yeah, it is. It is. Like, I'll fully admit, I genuinely do think Twitter, when it comes to free speech, is the superior site, but that is, that is abused by people baiting the algorithm. Upsides with downsides. That's just the way things work. Never heard of female custodes not real. I mean, wait, come on.
General Kenobi.
Emperor of Mankind 23, hello. How you doing? Well, I mean, Angry Badger, you've probably seen my multiple videos on why they're not canon. Like, all the various reasons. Including, like, how canon works and why... The way it was thrown in, why it can't be canon. It's just that simple.
Hello there.
Hey, Philosopher, how you doing? To be frank, Facebook is just as irrelevant as Blue Sky is. Okay. Okay. Nothing. Look, Facebook is unironically more relevant than Blue Sky. It's less relevant than Twitter by a long shot. But it's certainly a shade better than Blue Sky. Locking yourself on Blue Sky is effectively suicide for your brand. That's why, like, say, that's why Trench Crusade is in a bad spot, because that's their main place now. Is fucking, that is their main, like, form of engagement, and Instagram doesn't really give you much in the way of engagement. It's just sharing pictures. I refuse to participate in their delusion of canon. I mean, you probably never have to, just because I mean, look, they just announced a new Warhammer Plus show. I mean, if they were gonna push female custodes, they'd push it in something like that in subtle ways. The guy doing a Custodes Crusade army, the only named Custodes is male. So, I mean, yeah. And this is an official Games Workshop thing. This is a place where they would shill that, and they aren't. So that just listen, nothing is, they're not beating the allegations that they're trying to brush it under the rug. I heard there are celebrities in Blue Sky. You could not pay me to go on a platform for celebrities. I would rather be on, if like every celebrity moved to Blue Sky and I'd never have to listen to them gap again, that'd be like the best thing ever. Yeah. The Blue Sky is drier than Nevada in a drought. No, listen. That's not true, Chonka, because Nevada still is the Hoover Dam. Nevada is unironically damper. That, even in the middle of a drought, it has water. Blue Sky ain't got nothing. Blue Sky's pushing those so little water it makes Arrakis look moist, kind of dry. Ugh. Okay, Death Guard, I understand, like, poor Death Guard bros have been eating arse for years with their 50 typhuses. Yeah, they finally got a combat patrol. It doesn't have typhus, and it's sold out. Actually, what does it have? Hold on, let me look. Yeah, it's got the what is it? What are they called? Like the super duper good Terminators. I can't remember their names with the scythes. And it's got the guy with the Terminator HQ with the bile spewer. This is actually a pretty good. Actually, hold on. I'm going to switch over to here because I'm going to bring up the media share. Hold on. If I can find it. Fuck. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, it's got the. What the fuck is that guy called? It's got. He's the. That doesn't have a name. Oh, yeah, except the Lord of Virulence, that's it. The Tallyman, Chaos Rhino, Death Shrouds, and Plague Marines. And it's actually a really good combat patrol because it all mixes together really well. Hello, Chaplain Thrain, how you doing? Yeah, no, this is actually why is increasing the size decreasing this? Whatever. But yeah, no, this is a really good box actually. Like the Lord of Virulence and the Death Shrouds go well together. The Tallyman and the Plague Marines go well together. And you got a transport for these dudes. It's a nice little box. That's actually a really good combat patrol. New patrols have been mogging early 10th patrols. Yeah, but granted, I've got a whole theory that the Civil War in Games Workshop is either coming to an end or has ended just based on Games Workshop's recent releases and how they're getting better, you know? And also the general rules revisions we've been seeing and all that. Like, the whole deal with, Death Watch, like, actually, being considered for balance where Imperial Agents isn't. Studying the enemies of man, I see. Hey, listen. Sometimes you just gotta know your enemy, all right? It happens. I'm surprised that Rhino is not mutated as hell. I mean, yeah, it's just the generic Chaos Rhino, but in that, like, diarrhea snot green that the Death Guard have. Basically, the price is. I mean, if you can see the price in American, there is completely absurd. Yeah, like $170. Like, this is what pushes people to Tabletop Simulator. Am I sure it's not a Lord of Virile Ends? No, that'd be Slaanesh. That'd be Slaanesh. Or possibly that one Tyranid with the horsecock gun. You know the one I mean. Honestly, good matchup for the God Emperor would be the God Emperor versus Cosmos from Xenosaga, since both have powers which weaponize all creation, and both are inspired by Christian figures. I can't really comment on that because I never played Xenosaga. I only ever played Xenogears. Which Xenogears was an excellent game, though. Seriously. Jokes aside, though, it is surprisingly tame for death. So it is surprisingly tame for Death Guard. What? The what? Oh, wait, Chonka, you've never seen that? Hold on. Let me look this up. Oh, okay. Shit. All right, one moment. Xenos. Tyranids. Where are the Gaunts? GW, you're not out of Gaunts, are you? It'd be kind of funny, actually, but... Oh, here we go. There, that guy, upper right. Yeah, but now look at this thing. Look at this fucking thing. Still pray for Clone Fulgrim to return. Listen, I'm going to be completely honest with you, Philosopher. Don't pray on anything from Josh Reynolds' Bile trilogy to ever be brought up again. I can tell you pretty well, Games Workshop did not part on good terms with Josh Reynolds. What the fuck is that? I mean, it's some kind of Tyranid. It's some kind of Tyranid gun, but the horsecock jokes were all over the place. But seriously though, Philosopher, like I was saying, I'm fairly certain that Josh Reynolds and GW had beef, and that's why they never renewed his contract, which was over before they even released the third Fabius Bile book. So, like, yeah. I've always had my pet theories on that, namely the fact that there's so much shit in that sounds like he was trying to push female Space Marines into canon through Bile, and then Games Workshop just had to repeatedly tell him no and go back to the, go back to editing to rewrite it. So that it was like, I think they just got sick of him and were like, we're not renewing your contract. I remember Josh Reynolds and I actually had beef over it. He's actually kind of an asshole. Like, he's like a really like petty little asshole, honestly. Not a fan of the guy. I'm glad he doesn't write for GW anymore. It's the flesh. Is that actually the flesh borer, or like? I'm trying to remember which Tyranid rifle is the flesh borer. Shit, I don't remember. I know the names of Tyranid guns. I don't know which one is which, like at a glance, because I don't play Tyranids. They're all just bugs to me, you know. Who would win, the Emperor of Mankind or our CCs from? I don't know who our CCs is. I don't know who that is. I don't do Pokemon. But yeah, let's hold on. Let's go. Wait, let's go back a little bit. Let's go back a little bit. Let's look at them let's look at them freshly scalped pre-orders. Like, look at that. This is the these are the special edition stuff for Death Guard and World Eaters. That shit was gone instantly, almost, from what I heard. Like, listen, Games Workshop, get a handle on your goddamn pre-orders. Sometimes you actually hunker down and prevent this shit, and sometimes you just let it happen. Like get some consistency with your fucking pre-orders. Seriously, this shit is actually stupid when you allow the scalpers just barge in and steal shit. You need to look at the old Pyrovore model, not the new one. Huh. Scalpers got them all. Yeah, exactly. I was watching people get pissed off about it, you know, like the past day, since like yesterday when it happened. You know, when they hit pre-order, and then we're gone from pre-order in seconds. Like, it's actually... You know, okay, ignoring pricing for a minute, because the pricing is stupid. But holy shit, man, just... Listen, I'm fully convinced scalpers are subhuman. Like, they are not human the same way we are human, you know? Like scalpers are legitimate pieces of shit. Like it recently happened, too, I think, in, they released, like, some new stuff and some new Gunpla stuff that got scalped super hard. Hey, Siren, how you doing? Yeah, and I like having, you know, the various 40k game OSTs up. Hey, Bo, you ever gonna do the stream talking about OPR Grimdark Future Lore? They have a lore book and short stories. Maybe. I don't know. My main interest in OPR has always been mainly for the model agnostic rules versus any kind of lore they might actually have. You know, it's kind of a decent approximation of a older, you know, other than, you know, the super simplified gameplay. In terms of like army building, it's closer to older 40k editions. As a collector of Gunpla, I almost read this Assassin's Creed Armored Core, I suffer. Oh, Jesus, fuck. I'm so sorry. That was a 10 out of 10, though, you gotta admit. Yeah, because I gotta apologize to you, Gachi, because I know for a fact you have better taste than liking Assassin's Creed. Oh, wait, hold up. Titus is up. Huh. I mean, they're not showing the sprue. Ah, damn, because listen, I kind of want to buy him to turn him into a Death Watch, like Death Watch Titus, like he goes back, like he serves another term in the Death Watch. Not as like a Black Shield, obviously, but, you know, still. I was kind of thinking of, converting that, because that'd be neat. That's a nice model, though, seriously. I kind of wish they showed the sprue, though. I mean, I'll probably have to look it up. I'll look it up later. You trying to save money for this month? Why are you showing me Titus is up? I mean, just because I saw it and it looked neat. Yeah, I'm pretty certain the old. Actually, yeah, what's in these guys' box? Hold on. Okay, they got Lord of Executions. All right, yeah, Lord of Executions. What do you call it? The Berserkers, Jackals, and a Demon Prince. That's not bad. It's not bad, you know. That's a pretty good detachment. Actually, that makes me wonder. I'm gonna look at the combat patrols. Titus's helmet and face options, the rest is monopose. Yeah, but I mean, listen, that doesn't stop some people. A hobby knife and a whole fuckload of glue go a long way. I see. Okay, you see, they're still going with this combat patrol for generic Space Marines. Tyranids, Dark Angels. This Dark Angels kit is actually hilariously bad, just because the HQ they gave it can't pair up with any of the models within. Yeah, I don't think they have a Death Watch combat patrol anymore. Yeah, they don't. Shit. I mean, you could probably still use the one that was still around before Imperial Agents came out. And green stuff. Oh yeah, green stuff is modeling putty. That's what that is. It's like a two-part modeling putty kind of stuff. Yeah, epoxy resin. That's it. It's a two-part epoxy resin, and yeah, I would recommend if you're gonna buy that, don't buy it from Games Workshop's website. You don't buy the Citadel brand. It's actually kind of ass. Like, it's not. I mean, it's okay. It's not bad. It's just overpriced. Hold on. Let me. Would that be under technical? No, that's paint. Billeted page accessories. Is that what it'd be under? Huh. What liquid? Hold on. Liquid green stuff? What the fuck? Oh, okay. My dyscalculic ass thought that was $725. It's like, okay, I get your jack and prices, but come on. How the fuck does this work? For filling small gaps in miniatures, liquid green stuff has been designed by hobbyists who want a smooth, even finish when converting or modifying. Water soluble with a striking lit. I don't care about the label. Liquid green stuff can be easily filed down to the Citadel file once set. Oh, okay. Okay, but don't they sell just the old green stuff, like, at all? Maybe I'm just like missing it. Huh. Maybe I'm just missing it. Who knows? Plastic crack. Yeah, no, this is the... It's like I said, if you're going to actually buy Warhammer stuff, like, never buy it directly off the online store unless you have absolutely no choice. Always buy it from somewhere else, like fucking, you know, Amazon or whatever. Always buy it from there. It's infinitely... well, it's not infinitely cheap. Okay. Like, the price difference between the two is infinitely cheaper. Like... It may not be by a lot, but it is cheaper. something like what is it? Yeah, it's like hold on. Like 40K Combat Patrol. Yeah, like a Black Templar Combat Patrols are like $168, but on Amazon it's like 133. It's like a there's a significant price difference between the two. Or if you know, go to a hobby store. Always go to a local game store if you have that option. I'll always say that. Let's see. I only ever got one thing of the Warhammer store, and that's because I got a gift card for your birthday. And I get that. I get that. That shit's expensive, man. That shit's expensive. Like if your family wants to get you Warhammer stuff and they don't know what, just have them get you an Amazon gift card and buy it that way. It's honestly the better idea. Like if you don't have a hobby store to go to, you know. Still need to print stickers for my not Lego Marines that need faction symbols. Yeah, I've seen those. Those are neat. Like, I know they're unofficial, but, like, yeah, those are neat. I get the green stuff tubes. You get a lot for your cash, and they are separate, so you don't have that stupid bit between them where they just kind of melds together and you can't use it. Yeah, I've seen those. I've seen the green stuff tubes. That's probably that's actually probably the smarter way to go about it, honestly. Hey, Bo, bringing out the old Avatar again. Yeah. Listen, my spite for people who want me to quit Warhammer is stronger than my dislike of Games Workshop. You know? Games Workshop can fix itself. It can unfuck itself. The people who hate you just because you like the Imperium are, you know, unfixable. They're completely unfixable. So I enjoy the idea of spiting their existence by just, like, you know, being loud and proud about what I enjoy in Warhammer, you know? "3D printer go burr." I mean, listen, some guy put out a video recently, and I agree with him on that video, that 3D printing will never replace buying miniatures off a shelf, because nobody really understands the logistical hurdles of 3D printing as a hobby. It will always be a sub-hobby. It will be a niche hobby within model making. It will never take it over, even against Games Workshop. That's not me shilling Games Workshop. That's me being realistic. At least STL Dread Knight proxies are far better. Man, listen, I'll never agree with that. I unironically like the Dread Knight. I think it's a cool model. I think it looks cool. Nobody will ever make me disagree with that. I will die on this hill atop a pile of my enemy's corpses. If one person still likes the Dread Knight, I'm still alive. I got a starter set for Tyranids and my brother had sent me back $300. Was that the Combat Patrol? Just asking, or was that like some other box set? The only Warhammer things I own are the Magic the Gathering cards, and that's what got me into the lore of 40K. Hey man, it was Magic the Gathering, but it's still like, you know, it's still Warhammer stuff. You know, they're Warhammer cards. You really want to get into FDM printing? I figured out how to print minis in FDM. And not use the dumb tree supports. I don't know 3D printing all that well. What is FDM? I like the specific type. I know there's different types of 3D printing. That's what I should say. I don't know the different types of 3D printing all that well. I just know the ones like, say, you know, your very standard printer. Like when you say 3D printing, that's what people think of. Like, I know that. Okay, let's see. FDM. I'm looking up right now. Oh, it's the one that like uses like like from a spool of like resin or something like that. Like that like that's what it looks like. You like the Dreadnought? I just think it needs pilot protection. I mean, canonically, it does have pilot protection. It's got a force field guarding the pilot. It's got like, it's got like a shield. The reason it's open is so the operator can have a full range of movement, because he doesn't pilot it like a mech. It's basically mimicking his body motions in order to move. Plus, look, as somebody who loves the power loader from Aliens, I'm just totally cool with the idea of a space marine in a greater demon-sized power loader mech with a fucking sword and a Gatling gun saying, "Come at me, heretic," like right to the demon's face. That's what I like about it. That's why I think it's a good design. I feel like trying to make it look like a dreadnought completely takes away from that. It's like, it's not what they were intending with the design. Like, it's not a case of, oh, this is better. It's a case of, that's not what they were going for. So you're just like, all you're really doing is like screwing it up. If you're 3D printing minis, your best bet is resin printing. Oh, like don't get me wrong. I'll always like, I got no problem with people who 3D print, even if I think they get really, really pretentious about it. Like I've said it before, and I will never apologize for this. 3D printers, people who 3D print their Warhammer minis are the vegans of the Warhammer community. Like, like how you could be standing at a toilet or at a fucking, latrine, all by yourself, right? All by yourself. There's plenty of places another person can go take a piss. It is always the guy who, it is always the vegan who will walk up right next to you, whip his dick out, start peeing, and say, "I'm a vegan." And you know what? Fucking people who 3D print their Warhammer minis are exactly the same. Like, a lot of them are exactly the same. There's
Initiating attack protocol 23.
Oh, hey, Pally, how you doing? Thank you for the raid. Welcome, Raiders. For those from Pally's viewers who don't know who I am, I'm Marshall Bohemond. I'm a totally nondescript space crusader who's not at all based off a certain tabletop wargaming franchise. But like I was saying, because we're talking about Warhammer, the people like I said, I know plenty of people who do 3D printing who are really cool people. Shout out to Oddball on Twitter, man. He's like one of my earliest.
Squad deploying.
He was one of my earliest moots on Twitter, and he's a really cool dude. He does lots of really great 3D printing. So, like, yeah, there are people who 3D print their Warhammer minis who are really cool. But then there's also the ones who, like I said, they'll walk right up to the latrine next to yours, in the bathroom, whip his dick out, start pissing, and say, I 3D print my Warhammer minis. And I'm just sitting there, like, looking at him awkward, like, good for you. Okay? Like, people would find 3D printing less obnoxious if some of the people who 3D printed would be less obnoxious about it, Like that's just what I think. I'm not against buying minis, but not at current prices. Oh no! Don't get me wrong. That is, you have every reason. Warhammer fans have every reason to hate the pricing of Warhammer minis. I'm not saying like the pricing. I'm not saying like the pricing with this argument. I'm saying the people who 3D print could be a little less pretentious about it. That's what I'm saying. The pricing is absolutely bullshit. Like you've heard me rant about the pricing before. Like, come the fuck on, Games Workshop. They never admit that 3D printing is hard and time-consuming. It's a hobby in and of itself. I mean, yeah. No, listen, nobody will tell you that, it could take, like, 2 weeks or more to assemble a vehicle. Like, not even to assemble it, just to get the parts. And you need the print. Everyone's like, well, it's so cheap, it pays for itself. It's like, okay, but you need the printer, the resin, a PC, the programming on your PC, and the knowledge of how to use it to manipulate the 3D models before you print them. You need a curing station. You need a washing station, because believe me when I say, you're dealing with toxic resin. You can't just wash that shit in your sink, okay? You are dealing with toxic chemicals. Oh, and you also need a separate room in your house with proper ventilation. Like, a person who lives in an apartment like me can't 3D print. Like, That's the reason I haven't. Like, I'd like to get into it. I don't have a room I can properly ventilate in my apartment to do it. So yeah, that's where I'm fucked in that regard. The toxic waste as well. Yeah, no, seriously. Okay, real talk. We're not talking me bitching and complaining about things like this. Is actual real talk. Do not fuck with resin. Be careful with resin. You will actually, if you don't handle resin properly, you will actually get cancer. Like, I'm not making that up. You can get cancer from resin. You can fuck your lungs up, something fierce. Warcom Sunday Post says there's new minis to reveal this weekend. What you think? Let me actually, you know what? Let me go back there real quick. Let me go back there real quick because I haven't. Because what do you call it? Oh, it's probably gonna, you know, real talk. It's probably gonna be Space Wolves. They're probably gonna reveal the release of Space Wolves. Actually, hold on. Let me go back here real quick. Okay, like this is the okay. Now you know how on Sundays they usually preview all the new stuff coming the next week. All they have coming next week in terms of like, you know. They don't have, there's nothing they're going to be showing on, you know, for pre-order next week, apparently. Like, this is the article. Sunday preview. Like, it's just Warhammer Plus stuff. Like, where was the Sunday preview for this week? See all. Hold on. Yeah, like this was this, like every Sunday preview they've had has generally been about new models coming out, but they have nothing this week. It's just for next week. It's just Warhammer Plus. They're apparently going to be revealing some stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if it's related to like upcoming releases, like say Knights, Black Templars, etc. Or they're just straight up saying, "Hey, Space Wolves week after," but there's going to be no new pre-orders, which is weird. Normally they space out their releases enough that there's a new pre-order every week. So yeah, I don't know what's up with that. Oh, fuck! I pushed the wrong button. Stream isn't over. I'm sorry, folks. I tried to go back to my yapping thing, and I hit the title screen thing. Yeah, I apologize. I apologize. You definitely good ventilation and a curing setup. You really do. It is actually not funny how much you need to, how much setup and learning there is to do with 3D printing, and then you're gonna fuck up a lot 3D printing. You're gonna fuck up a lot of models. Like, unironically, you're gonna fuck up a lot of models. You know, trying to get it done. Like, you will go through more resin trying to learn to actually make the models. You know, before you ever make a model you can actually keep. You know, credit to the people who figured it out, who learned it. I mean. But, you know, you got to put that time in. You can't just, it's not plug and play. And that's a big problem. Too many people treat it like it's plug and play when it's not. UK schools finish up towards the end of May/June, so they time it to match that. Traditionally, one of their biggest markets is suddenly going to be in the mood for buying. Oh, okay. I actually didn't know that. I actually didn't know that because, you know, like, you know, I'm American. I don't know when like British school lets out. Fuck, I forgot when school lets out in general because I haven't been to school since like 2002, or well, high school anyway. You know, so I haven't been to high school since 2002 because I'm fucking old. So yeah, I completely forgot about that shit. Yeah, up until it clicks as a chore. Yeah, no, I've heard the horror stories from people who are honest about 3D printing, about how, like, trying to learn it, all the bullshit you go through. Oh, that's before you get into, like, maintenance and cleaning as well. Like, you can't leave that shit just laying around. Again, Resin is fucking toxic. You can't just leave toxic resin lying around. You have to be careful when cleaning that. Like gloves, fucking special cleaning shit and all that. Like, yeah. And you can't, I don't know if you can put it in the dishwasher or not, but honestly, I fucking wouldn't, just because I'm not putting something that was literally steeped in toxic resin in the same place where I put my, eating, dishes and utensils and shit, If you're careful, you can get by with a good air purifier, though. But yes, if you're printing, expect to go through your entire first bottle of resin just learning to print. Yeah, exactly. Most people just don't want to deal with the hassle. They'll just buy the minis, like, in the box. And, I mean, look, as much as, like, the prices suck, I fully understand why people would do that, I fully understand why people would do that. Don't put it in the dishwasher? Okay, Nodor, thank you for clearing that up. I legitimately didn't know if you shouldn't. It just sounded like a bad idea. So yeah, never put your 3D printing equipment in the dishwasher. That is a one-way ticket to resin poisoning. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. That's actually dangerous. Thank you, Nodor. Thank you. I didn't want to go giving people awful advice on accident. Thank you for the save there. Warcry seems to be on its way out. Massive shame. It had the coolest rules out of the fantasy spin-off games. I mean, listen. I kind of saw that coming just because Age of Sigmar is so incredibly unpopular. Like, listen, they can barely justify keeping Age of Sigmar going at this rate. There's no way they can justify keeping the side games going, Why do I hate the Tau? Okay, Ramen Dude. Okay. True story. I don't actually hate the Tau. I just hate how some Tau fans like to pretend that the Tau shit don't stink compared to the other factions, when honestly you can justify that Tau are probably worse than the Imperium. Because the Tau have a choice not to be evil, but they choose to be anyway. And then I just hate on the Tau just because it's fucking funny, It's like, it's fucking funny. That's why I do it, and it makes those kind of Tau fans seethe. That's why I hate on the Tau. Like, that is entirely it. Like, I actually think the Tau are kind of neat. Like, other than, like, the way GW fucked them into irrelevance with having shitty fast and light travel. But I still think they're neat, Like, that's really what it boils down to. Warcry was so open you could put together nearly anything in there. Utterly bonkers. Gorka Morka vibes. Yeah, but ultimately it was forever going to be hamstrung by the fact it was Age of Sigmar, which is just unpopular. I mean, that's really all it boils down to. Tau shit doesn't stink because stink does not further the greater good. Yeah, probably. There's probably rules. It's probably illegal in Tau space to have shit that's too stinky. Like, unironically. That sounds like a certified Tau moment to me. Citizen, your designated toilet unit was not suitably cleanly smelling this month. You're being sent to rehabilitation. Do you think GW will ever officially recognize or try their own take on the Dornian heresy? No, I don't think so. Games Workshop doesn't really seem interested in alternate universes, like, as a concept. I'd argue the closest thing they're doing to that is Age of Sigmar. Because the funny thing about Age of Sigmar is, if you go back and watch my stream where I talked about the rules of canon, it's kind of that with Age of Sigmar. Like, the Storm of Chaos, which is the inciting event that created Age of Sigmar, is so at odds with the Warhammer Fantasy lore that came before it that it's basically an alternate universe. It's not actually Warhammer Fantasy. Warhammer Fantasy never ended. Or not Storm of Chaos. End Times. I was talking about End Times. I didn't mean Storm of Chaos. My bad. I fucked that up. But yeah, honestly, the big one The big one in that regard is how they gas up Vulcan as the chosen of Sigmar, and then as soon as the end times start, they kill off Vulcan, and then the big meteorite lands in the middle of Altdorf during the siege, and all of a sudden, fucking Karl Franz is transformed into Sigmar. Like, no, that's not what was happening before that. That's why this is not canon, because that's so at odds with what you had written before that it basically isn't canon. So when you get right down to it, Age of Sigmar is not canon with Warhammer Fantasy Battles, or as it's known today, the Old World. All GWS do is make Fusion Blades upgrade sprue for Crisis suits. I mean, that'd be cool. I mean, you can buy, like, you know, custom made bits for, like, fusion for, like, fusion weapons for Tau. Like, if you want to give them like a blade look, you can do that. Vulcan was KO'd by Archaon and Storm of Chaos in 2004. I mean, I know that, Mortarion. But that's the point. He didn't die, you know? He didn't die. That's the problem. Because Chaos won Storm of Chaos and GW were like, nope, doesn't count. Wait, I thought Chaos lost Storm of Chaos. That's what I remember. Like, I remember Chaos... Wait, hold on. I'm looking this up. I'm having a fucking... Who won Storm of Chaos Warhammer? Oh, great. Now I've got to go through the fucking fandom wiki with its stupid unsighted fucking lore bits that so many people take as serious. There are numerous sources that have expanded Warhammer lore since the Storm of Chaos campaign, describe an alternate narrative to that covered by... I mean, look, there it is. Like, there it is. Even the fucking Warhammer fandom wiki acknowledges it, that Storm of Chaos is the real final chapter of Warhammer Fantasy Battles, and that Age of Sigmar isn't canon with it. Okay, yeah, Mortarion, that's what I thought. Like, yeah, Chaos lost the Storm of Chaos, so they wrote it where Chaos, you know, had a major incursion but were beaten back. But then, like, yeah, I'm guessing Games Workshop just, like, you know, got mad, flipped the table, and did, like, you know, the end times. Plus, there's, like, you know, the fact Tom Kirby wanted to, like, you know, nuke fucking, you know, we wanted to nuke the setting for a quick buck, and then got fired from Games Workshop because he almost ruined the company with Age of Sigmar, and they wanted to do it to 40k as well, also known as the game that never was, that they talk about internally. 1D4chan is more accurate. Now, okay, listen. 1D4chan is full of memes. But here's the thing, though. 1D4chan unironically cites its sources. The Warhammer fandom wiki doesn't do that, and that's why it's garbage. It doesn't cite its sources. Like, it will list its sources, but it will not cite them, you know? So, like, a lot of things that the fandom wiki cites are just straight up not true. That's why the fandom wiki is garbage and why you shouldn't use it. If you're gonna use a wiki for any reason, use Lexicanum at the very least, you know? But other than that, always get your lore from the primary sources. Always get it from the books. Evil chaotic laughter just as planned. I mean, kinda, you know? Like, kinda. Yeah, it's like Games Workshop literally flips the table in a huff and then is like, that was our plan all along. It's like, no, no, it wasn't. I mean, listen, one day I may get over the end times in Age of Sigmar, especially now that it's being trounced in sales by the old world. But that day is not today. Never use fandom wikis. Right, gotchi. In my experience on the Gundam wiki is honestly just as bad. Like the Gundam fandom wiki doesn't bring up the whole, the whole rule of UC Gundam canon, which is that if it's animated, it's canon. Like they still like they say the anime adaptation of Thunderbolt is an alternate universe when it is straight up canon. The Thunderbolt anime is canon, and it's been said as such by the manga's creator. You think the female custodians are actually Zeech demons? No, Ramen dude. Listen, that implies they're actually canon when they're not. They're not canon. Gundam Wiki is cancer. I mean, I believe it. I always check citations on wikis. Easy to find online copies anyway. Yeah. Well, just sail the high seas. Play the Jack Sparrow theme. That's all I'm saying. I'm not implying anything. That's all I'm saying. One moment. Okay. But yeah, no, it's like, hold on. If you're looking for a name, if you're looking for a name, the fan wiki is fine. I mean, yeah, but at the same time, Lexicanum does the same thing and actually cites its sources, I can play the Jack Sparrow theme and clarinet. Nice. I never learned to play music because I tried to learn guitar, but my dyscalculia prevented me from learning sheet music, and it's like I literally am physically incapable of reading sheet music, and I'm just like, it just threw me for a loop, which was a bit of a shame because I was taking like intro to guitar in high school. That's where I wanted to learn. I took it as an elective, and I literally couldn't read the sheet music. I couldn't participate in the class. It's like, oh god damn it, what have I done? And because my high school was dildos, they wouldn't let me switch classes. Even though there were seats open and other electives I could have taken, they were like, nope, he's already there. We can't change it. Sorry. Like they were actually just gonna fail me outright, but yeah, they're just gonna fail me outright too. That was the funny part. My high school did not like me. They really didn't like me. Like that wasn't the first time they tried to like pull shit on me, but that's real life shit, That's real life shit. That's not pertinent to the topic at hand right now. Female custodes are rights barely hidden fetish. What do you mean by rights? I don't know what you mean by that. You're starting to regret your glow-in-the-dark paint idea for plasma guns because this shit takes too many layers to actually glow. I've actually never used glow-in-the-dark paint. I can't really comment on what to do there. Like I said, I really don't know much about glow-in-the-dark paints. My high school didn't like me. Welcome to the club. I mean, yeah. Like, yeah, no, my high school fucking sucked. Like, it was legitimately an awful place. Oh, also, you're starting your own channel soon. You're getting things set up. Gonna get videos and ideas on in the next few weeks. Oh, that's cool. That's cool, man. That reminds me, because I don't know if y'all were I was brought up a little bit earlier, okay? Fucking trying to get adjusted in my seat here. Damn. I need to get some WD-40 on my computer chair. Goddamn. Imagine white paint, but worse. Yeah, no, I get that. But, am I joining Airbrush Supremacy? No, largely for the same reason I can't 3D print, because of ventilation. Like, unless there's like, because, I know there's like a rig you can get to like suck all the paint up and blow it out a window, but like, I would actually use an airbrush if I wasn't so concerned about ventilation, But okay. But that said, I mean, do y'all see the recent? Did you all see the hey Blade Charge? How you doing? You all see the recent the recent 40K drama that I accidentally started, where I basically just said Imperium and Orc fans are the most chill parts of the fandom. Apparently, a lot of people took offense to that. Did I highlight that? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Hold on. Okay, hold up. Let's go back here. So, what do you call it? By the way, to me, only female superhuman I will accept are the female. Nope. Sorry, Jesse. That's not happening. That's not happening. We've been over this. We've been over this. It's been done to death. We've been over this. It's been done to death. Primaris Marines can only be men because nothing is fundamentally changed about gene seed and Primaris Marines. It is literally just, two new organs and two new gene seed organs built from pre-existing blueprints that the Emperor made, and some cybernetic enhancements for their tendons. Like, that's it. There are never going to be female Space Marines. Primaris and Belisarius Cull are not an excuse for it to happen. And on that note, before we get into the Twitter drama, on that note, that's what my next video is going to be about on YouTube. I'm going to try to have it out by sometime next week. Because, I mean, look, I'm going to be honest with y'all. My YouTube videos are slop tuber content. I don't pretend I'm good at editing or anything like that. I just rant about shit that interests me. But I will probably have it out by sometime next week. It's going to be about female Space Marines. Like, an actual female Space Marine video. Not like that April Fool's one I did. An actual video discussing it. So the whole process Space Marines is male exclusive because there are any of the organs able to be implanted in anyone. I mean, yeah, it's like, that's just established lore, you know. Space Marine organs only work on XY chromosomes and you know, require, you know, high degrees of male hormones to function. What is a slop tuber? Just somebody who doesn't put a lot of effort into their videos. Like, I fully admit, in my part, it's a lack of editing skill. I do not have an editor, and I don't know how to edit myself. Like, that's really what it boils down to. Adam Something's Warhammer video broke your respect to him. Yeah. But anyway, but yeah, this is the post I made. It isn't even like one of my, it wasn't even a banger post. That's the funny part. Apparently, people really took offense to this. The idea that Imperium of Man fans are chill. They decided to, hold on. Should I check the quote tweets? Fuck it. Okay, let's look at the people proving me right, okay? Let's look at the people proving me right. Let's see. The faction that contains both the smug, spoiled brats and obnoxious Batman fans of 40K, chill and fun-loving. Okay. Doesn't prove my point. Doesn't prove your point. I'm only slightly dipped my tone to Warhammer and its lore. I just assume anyone who hates the Imperium would rather follow someone like Yeah, okay. Rather follow Nurgle and Slaanesh as a pedophile. Okay, yeah. Imperium fans in chill in the same sentence with the, you know, I made it up video. This is why I will never play the Imperium because of idiots like this in the comment. You fucking ruin everything. You motherfuckers are slower than molasses dripping down an igloo during a blizzard. Like proving people's point in spades. Imperium fans and being chill, I don't know what you're trying to say with that image, buddy. I don't know. I like Tau and I'm pretty chill, and I just like big mechs. I mean, you know what? That's fair. That's fair, random conservative geek. I get you there. But Orc fans maybe, but Imperium fans, fuck no. Oh, okay. This guy's pretty based. I'm a Gene Stealer cult and Nurgle fan, and this is 100% true. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. Go on, homie. Okay, dude. Looks like Did that person go private? Oh my god, he replied to me and privated instantly, like he was afraid I was gonna come after him or something. Bro, you are not that important. You are not that important that as you think you are. Okay, that's just me quote tweeting myself. Marshall Hubrecht, shout out to you. You are very correct. Also with this one. I don't know. Jazanam, Lika, Ludka, my goat, Igra, World Eater, or whatever. Was this guy having a stroke when he typed this? Like, okay. I'm actually wondering, is this guy having a stroke? Was this guy having a stroke when he typed this? Like, buddy, are you okay? Like, okay, full topic aside, are you okay? Like, but, okay. Hey, here we go. Like, let's be real. This is the whole argument right here. Again, shout out to Marshall Hubrecht on Twitter. You're one of the homies. This is the whole situation summed up. You know, Xenos and Chaos fans being all like, I fucking hate you and I hope you die. And we're just sitting here playing with our goddamn minis, you know, enjoying our faction, enjoying the interfaction rivalry with the cool people, you know, like, what is, it's genuinely funny how Chaos and Xenos are the tourist bait. Like, they really are the tourist bait just because they latch on. Because, like, oh, well, the Imperium is supposed to be a satire of fascism, so clearly these factions are oppressed, you know? And then they can never admit to themselves that they sided with, you know, inhuman monsters and actual hell. Regardless, can we all agree the other factions need more love? I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be completely honest with the Lopside. I genuinely think people overblow the whole only the Imperium is loved thing. I genuinely believe people overblow that. Look, I'm going to be, this is 100% blunt here. This isn't just because I'm an Imperium fanboy, okay? It's the fact that the Imperium is the main character. Like, it doesn't matter how you try to swing it about Warhammer. That's the simple fact. The Imperium is the main character. They are the main character faction of Warhammer 40k. So the Imperium is naturally going to get more stuff. That is just how it works. You know? It's like how, you know, despite, you know, it's like how in fucking, you know, Battletech, the Inner Sphere gets the most stuff. They get more stuff than the clans. Why do they get more stuff than the clans? Because the Inner Sphere are the main characters. Like in the Inner Sphere clan rivalry, the clans will always be second fiddle to the Inner Sphere because they're just someone for the Inner Sphere to fight, and that's just how it works. Every tabletop setting is like this. Like, I guarantee you, with the Trench game, New Antioch is going to get more shit than the Sultanate or the Forces of Hell. Because New Antioch are the main characters. That's just how it works. This is just fucking writing 101. Even in a faction-focused setting, one faction will be the main character and will get most of the attention. That's New Antioch and Trench game. That's the Inner Sphere in BattleTech. That's fucking that's fucking what do you call it? The Imperium in Warhammer. That's just how it works. I mean, fuck, even in Gundam, like, look. Zeon is the cooler faction, but the Federation is the main character. So the Federation is just always going to get more shit than Zeon. Let's see. Hey, Boemon, are you going to do a Helldivers 2 stream? At some point, I'll probably play it again on stream. I don't see why not. Poster boys. I mean, listen. Yeah, I mean, Blade Charge, this is how it works. Someone's the poster boy in every setting. That's just how it is. That's not ignoring everyone else. That's not maliciousness. That's just how it works. You focus on your poster boy because that's your main character. I mean, it'd be like if, you know, it'd be like if someone wrote, like, it'd be like if the guy who wrote Naruto and then made it the Sasuke show. Like, it doesn't matter how much people like Sasuke. He's not the title character. He's not the title character. He's not the cover character. He's not the main character. Yeah, he's the rival, but he's not the main character. The show is called fucking Naruto. So yeah, it's like, that applies to every setting. That's just how it works. Like, that's basic writing. You focus on if you don't focus on something, if you just have it be like nebulous, you don't have a setting in it. You don't have much of a story to tell. Then Zeon is still the superior faction, giving the Federation. I mean, like, look, yeah, I'll agree. Zeon is the more fun faction, but it doesn't make them. But they're not the main characters. Like, that's how simple it is. Not only that, but a lot of the Xenos books I've read tend to suck, but I may just not read the good ones. Okay, there's some good ones. I will say this, though. It has a large part of the fact to do with the fact that most Xenos novels, like especially Eldar and Tau, are written by like some of the worst authors, like Gav Thorpe. What do you call it? Because Gav Thorpe mainly writes Eldar. Mike Brooks appears to be the guy they've given Dark Eldar, and who the fuck, who's the guy that writes Tau? Kelly, I think his name is, writes Tau. Phil Kelly, yeah, that's it. Phil Kelly writes Tau. Yeah, it's because the Xenos are handed to shit authors while they got all their guys. Xenos in Warhammer 40k novels are always best written when it's Imperium writers, because the people they have writing the Imperium are, more often than not, the better writers. Like, that's what goes on there. It is strictly a matter of the fact that the better writers are writing the Imperium, and I genuinely don't think that's a deliberate thing on Games Workshop's part. I think it's just more the fact that, the writers who actually sell, combined with, the writers who, combined with, like, focusing on your main faction. So they're going to give the writers that sell, that actually sell books, put asses in seats, they're going to give them the main faction, and then that's going to, like, result in a lot of the good writers writing the Imperium. And then you'll notice they generally don't give their worst writers the Imperium very often. Like Mike Brooks, like, I think Lion, Son of the Forest is, like, the only Imperium book he's written off the top of my head, not counting Necromunda books, because Necromunda is really kind of like it's a side story. Like, it's a cool side story, but it's a side story. He wrote some Necromunda books. I think that was when he was early in his career at Games Workshop. So, yeah, like, they're gonna, like, if they hand Imperium stuff to, like, an author like him who doesn't really sell books that well, it's pretty much going to be side stuff unless they're, like, testing him. Unless they're testing the author's potential. That's kind of what Lion, Son of the Forest was all about. And that was not a good book. That is genuinely agreed upon to be one of the worst Primarch books ever written. Which is kind of a shame, because it was the book that, precedes the Lion's return in the Arcs of Omen. Mike Brooks did that book about the Imperial Navigators. Yeah, that kind of falls under the whole super niche sub-faction thing, kind of like Necromunda. That book is ass too. Rites of Passage. It is a genuinely garbage book. Mike Brooks has never written a good book. In fact, I think he's strictly been propping himself up off the Alfarius book. When Alfarius is easy to write, because you can just make bullshit up. Like, you can just make bullshit up. Yeah, Rites of Passage. Yeah, that's the book. It's not a good book. It is genuinely a bad book. Brutal Cunning was bad, and I will never understand why people like Brutal Cunning. Listen, I tried to like that book. I really did. There's so few books from the Orc's perspective, but Brutal Cunning is just not good. It is just not a good book. Like, genuinely, it is just, I don't know what's up with it. but it's just like, listen, I came here for an orc book. This is mostly AdMech with, like, you know, with your sassy girl boss, gender non-binary for some reason, fucking, you know, Skitari main character or whatever. And it's just like, yeah, it's just not a good book. It doesn't deliver what it's supposed to be about. Like, I'm at a point now where if I see Mike Brooks is writing the book, I can just safely say it's not canon, like, at all. How much you want to bet they won't make secondary material like novels for Trench Crusade? I firmly believe if Trench Crusade ever gets a single novel, I'll be very surprised, honestly. AdMech were nicely done in it. No, they weren't. No, they weren't, Mortarian. I will not agree. I will not even listen, Mortarian. I get people have their preferences. People can like something, but in terms of writing quality, the AdMech were not well done in that book. I don't know what the fuck it is with the Black Library problem children trying to push the idea of gender non-binary AdMech. That is not a thing. That is not how AdMech work. Okay? Like, you can have your LGBT representation all you want, but you have to make it work within the lore. It does not work with AdMech. AdMech are scientists. They are scientists. They recognize biology. They do not, you know, they do not recognize this whole idea of gender as a social construct. They would never do that. They would never put on they would never put on the you know, the societal. They would never put on that kind of societal act of, you know, the concept of, you know, gender as a social construct. They would not do that. They are cold, calculating scientists. They do not believe in the concept of, you know, in the concept of, like, letting, you know, opinion shape science like that. And yes, I know they are superstitious. They are superstitious, but they are also scientists. Their superstition is rooted in science. That's the irony of it. Like the whole idea of the motive force is just electricity. You know? All their ritual is rooted in repair and maintenance. They are scientists. They would not be like, I don't believe in the concept of gender. It's like, yes, they would. Yes, they would. The AdMech would be the asshole who tells you, okay, the AdMech would be the asshole who tells you that, you know, look at your DNA under a microscope. That's who the AdMech is. They are not. They would be the jerk that the AdMech would unironically be the jerk that misgenders somebody. Okay, that is the AdMech to a T. And I mean, look, that may sound mean, but okay, that's their character. Okay, that is the AdMech's character. So writing them in a way that goes against their character makes no fucking sense. I don't care if you're trying to do it for inclusion. You can have your LGBT Warhammer characters, but you gotta put them in the places where they make sense. It makes just as little sense as a transgender space marine. That would make no fucking sense. It's no different here. Oh man, I kind of went off. I apologize for that. I fucking catching myself here. Graham McNeil is on board with Trench Crusade. He's writing some short fiction for them. No word on novels. Probably not, because novels are expensive to produce and don't bring much money in unless you're doing a lot of them. I was putting together a literary journal this year, and they're looking at breaking even at most. Okay, yeah. Okay. Here's the thing with, you know, Trench Crusade doing novels. They have no capital. They have no income. They have no money. Like, their Kickstarter money is going to evaporate when they try to actually utilize it. I would expect that for the rest of time, Trench Crusade will be forever like BattleTech, begging for Kickstarter money just to get anything made. Which basically means not only are, like, you know, not only are its fans gonna have to buy stuff, they're gonna have to buy stuff twice just to get it produced. Trench Crusade will ever be, you know, stuck in that same mire as BattleTech. You know, that Battletech will never leave because Topps doesn't give enough of a shit to actually take the license away from Catalyst. Because Topps doesn't really give a fuck about Battletech. They'll never give a fuck about Battletech. They have never given a fuck about Battletech. And neither does Catalyst, for that matter. Part of why we're here is you want to hear me go off. Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I admit I did go off a little bit there. But that's ultimately true. Like, it's one of the things that, you know, it's just a writing thing in general. It's like, you can add things to your story, but you gotta add them in ways that make sense for a character, not only based on like where they are, who they are, but like where they are, what they're doing, what they're organized with, what they believe. And what one faction believes might preclude a character from, you know, believing something. And that's just a fact. That's just writing 101. Like, you know, it's like if you, like, okay, like, if you wanted to write a story about a Black Templar who wants to be nice to a Psyker, like, okay, you can want to write that. You would better do a damn good job trying to justify how that comes about, or you're going to make the most ridiculous, nonsensical, canon-breaking character imaginable. This is just basic fucking writing, you know? Like, I'm like, yeah, it's like, yeah, you know what I mean. Bo, do you think a Black Templar mini is an ancient or maybe a Chaplain Dread? Sorry about the yawn. I don't know what anything new for Black Templars could be. It might be just an HQ, but that said, if they're going to get a new release of minis on top of that, it would probably be stuff we haven't seen, like, in generic Space Marines, like, you know, what do you call it? Assault Terminators, Jump Chaplain, you know, stuff that hasn't got, you know, stuff like that. Because we haven't got a new Assault Termies, we haven't got new Jump Chaplain. I'm trying to think of what the fuck else. But if they gave, honestly though, if they gave Black Templars a brand new Templar exclusive unit, I'd be okay with that. That'd be cool. Shit, a new Chaplain Dread would be amazing. Yeah, I agree. I miss the old one from fucking what do you call it? Forge World. I miss the old Forge World one. That was a good model. I like that thing. But then again, I don't think Blood Angels have the have the Librarian Dread anymore. So hoping for that might be a little too much. Trench Crusade's post Kickstarter launches in June, I think. They'll probably show how their course is set for the future. They'll be niche and they'll be aiming for a very narrow audience, probably looking to go deeper rather than wide in terms of appeal. Okay, this is actually something I want to talk about, Mortarian, because okay, so Rubik's Raptor, right? Yeah, have y'all heard of Rubik's Raptor on YouTube? If you haven't, go follow his YouTube channel. Guy puts out really good modded Arma content as well as some other games. He's also a huge fan of Helldivers. He's done some really good videos on Helldivers. But yeah, like Rubik's Raptor put out a Arma 3 modded to be Arma 3 modded to be Trench Crusade. And here's what I noticed watching the video. And again, this is absolutely no shade toward Rubik's Raptor. I like Rubik's Raptor. He's a cool dude. So this is no shade toward him. This is just what I've noticed watching the video. He didn't really seem to understand Trench Crusade. Like, he understood the basic concept, but nothing really outside of that. And they were really mainly going for like the aesthetic of, you know, Crusaders in trenches with demons and all that stuff. And that's kind of why I think Trench Crusade as a setting is going to suffer. It's going to suffer this curse where the basic idea is appealing, but Trench Crusade itself will never put out content that will appeal to anyone in a sense that will really draw in an audience when the basic concept is so exploitably cool that other people will do that, and those people will draw in the audience. Like it's becoming kind of a trend now to do medieval or World War I style settings that are grim dark sci-fi or grim dark, fantasy, or grim dark steampunk and that kind of stuff. That's becoming kind of a trend. There's a lot of games coming out like that now. Games like, say, oh fuck, okay. What's that one on PC where you gotta like find water in the post-apocalypse and shit? It's basically Trench Crusade, but actually cool. The Forever War. Like, the Forever War is a really good example of this. Yeah, Forever War is a good example. There was another one I saw a preview of. Let me check my watch history, see if I can find it. It was a game trailer. Shit, I can't remember the name off the top of my head because I'm stupid. Hold on. Where the fuck is that? I watched that on my main channel, yeah? Because I kind of want to find the trailer itself and show it to you as an example of what I mean. Fuck, I can't find it. Hold on. Let me search this shit on YouTube. Maybe I can find it. Oh, wait a minute. I think I remember. Was it Hunger? Yeah, there it is. Okay. Let me flip on over here. All right, hold on. Okay, Mechanicus music. I'm gonna have to ask you to not right now. There we go. Okay, so okay, we're gonna watch this trailer and I'm gonna show you what I mean. Okay. Fuck it. I'll turn captions on.
Peggy 18.
Death hath cast its shadow o'er this
One moment.
land.
There.
All hope seemeth lost. Yet still thou dost fight. Why? What seekest thou in the dark? A touch of warmth? A gold coin or two? No. Deep within these folds of flesh, you and I both know. Death has judged us rightly.
You see what I mean? Look at the. I'm gonna pause it here. You see what I mean so far? You see what I mean? This is just Trench Crusade. Okay? This is a co-op it's like a grimdark co-op survival game called Hunger. But you see what I'm saying, like in terms of the aesthetics. This is just Trench Crusade. But this pulls me in more than Trench Crusade because it's an easily accessible product that, I can just pick up and play this. I don't need a 3D printer. I don't need some hyper niche tabletop community like to get into this.
Worthy of salvation.
And for the record, let me turn this down while this plays out. For the record, the people making this are the developers of a game called Hell Let Loose, which, if I remember correctly, is a multiplayer World War I game. So if you didn't think the Trench Crusade DNA isn't in there, or like the similarity to Trench Crusade, the guys who made this made a World War I multiplayer game. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if they're reusing the engine and like the engine and many of the assets from Hell Let Loose for this. And no shade on him. No shade on him. Like, grimdark fantasy trench wars is a cool concept. But this goes toward trying to prove my point, okay? Like, one moment. Let this finish playing out. Oh, but yeah, you see that goes toward oh yeah, Trench Tales 2. Thank you, Violent City. I almost forgot about that one. There's also that's another game being made, Trench Tales. But you see, this goes to prove my point. Trench Crusade is fucked because it'll never reach the market appeal by going. You know, if you want that, you need to go wide and deep. Okay, Warhammer got the way it did by going not only deep but wide. It did both. I've seen the Adepticon panel for Trench Crusade. I watched the leak of that, and all I have to say is their business model is actually garbage. Like they actually have a garbage business model. Like ignoring the fact that you spend more on the fucking STLs for their minis than you do on Warhammer figures. Like, ignoring that, it's the fact that, you know, when it comes to their business model, their whole idea that they want to go deep rather than wide is like, I'm starting to think the people developing it are unironic communists because they have this whole idea that, oh, we're just going to make a setting and the setting will sell the setting. And it's like, no, that you can't just do that. You can't just do that. It reminds me of okay. I'm going to I gotta go AFK real quick. The golden throne is calling me. I will be right back, everyone, and then I'll get into this. Okay, so I will be right back, real quick. I am back, everyone. I apologize about that. I apologize. I almost fell in. Someone left the toilet seat up on the golden throne. So, all right. One moment. I'm gonna fire up the stream music again for now. There we go. I forgot to turn it back on. I apologize about that. Okay, but I am back. Where was I going with this? Oh, fuck. I was gonna bring a game up. My fucking old man brain is actually forgot now. Oh yeah, the business model for Trench Crusade. Yeah, like, yeah, no, they're actually charging like hundreds of dollars for the code to the They're actually charging hundreds of dollars for the code to their STLs, and again, we were literally talking about this before, before about the problems with 3D printing, how it's not the easy solution people think it is. Like, you hope Disney won't buy GW. Disney can barely afford to, keep themselves running right now. They've lost billions of dollars. Disney ain't buying shit, okay? Disney ain't buying shit. Have you tried painting miniatures and playing the tabletop instead of crashing out over your arbitrary politics in a fictional universe? Hey everyone, everyone have a laugh at Easy on Twitter, who's decided to rock up and be a little bitch baby in my chat. I'm going. One moment. Let me go to my stream right now so I can block you because you are worthless and you will never amount to anything. One moment. There you are. Goodbye. I hope you enjoyed your 30 seconds of I hope you enjoyed your 30 seconds of E-Fame, Easy. I hope it was worth it. Random as fuck chat. Yeah. Did that show up on the on the restream chat for you? Oh no, it didn't. No, it did not. One moment. Hold on. I'm a screen cap this. I'm a screen cap this baby back bitch who came in here saying that shit. There we go. I had to screen cap that. That is comedy gold. That reminds me of that one guy Green Tifling on Twitter who came into one of my chat when I was very early in my streaming career playing Final Fantasy 15. It was like a bad night. I'd been sick. I'd maybe like one viewer, one maybe two viewers. This guy comes into my fucking chat, Green Tifling. That's his Twitter. That's his name on Twitter. And says basically like, who are you doing this for? No one's watching. No one likes you. And it's like, bro, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if no one watches me. I'm just putting myself out there. If people want to watch, so be it. I'm not trying to become famous. I just learned the golden rule of internet content. Put yourself out there. If people enjoy your content, they will. If they don't, they don't. Who fucking cares? So when you come into my fucking chat saying this shit, you just make yourself look like a complete ass. So, congrats, I guess. Disney's purchase of Fox did more to cripple Disney than help them. I mean, yeah, they didn't have the money to spend. They really didn't. I think it was, I remember there were rumblings about that when Marvel did that deal with Warhammer to do the Ultramarines and Sisters of Battle comics. Like, people thought Disney was gonna buy Games Workshop. It was like, and I remember Arch made a couple of videos about that. A bunch of people were doom posting about it, and I was just sitting there like, no, they're fucking not. No, they're fucking not. Disney's in no position to buy anyone right now. If anybody's gonna buy Games Workshop, it's probably gonna be Amazon, and I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm gonna be completely fucking honest. That would be an improvement. Games Workshop getting bought out by Amazon would be an improvement. I say that unironically. No way. I know, listen, and this is something I'm going to have to say. This is something I've said before. I've said this ad nauseum. I've said it over and over and over again. And this is something just people need to accept. The whole female custodes thing, y'all need to get comfortable with the fact that Amazon had nothing to do with that. That 4chan post blaming Amazon, nothing about that came true. It was literally Games Workshop being retarded. Because that's what it is. Games Workshop is a retarded company who have failed their way upward for 20 years now. Okay? Games Workshop pulling some kind of internal fuck up and pissing off their entire fan base by adding female custodes is a Games Workshop certified hood classic, okay? No, they outside influence wasn't going to cause something like a failure like that. Just Games Workshop being Games fucking Workshop was going to cause that. That's how it is. And y'all got to get comfortable with that. You got to stop looking to outside problems and blame the people internally. And yeah, by the way, that includes that Games Workshop, you know, oh yes, it's a Games Workshop did it because they consented to be manipulated by Amazon. No. I guarantee you Amazon was not bitching and moaning about representation in Warhammer. They aren't in a position to bitch and moan about representation of Warhammer. They don't own the copyright. They just bought the license. Games Workshop being retarded? No, you don't say. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Matthew. Exactly. Remember, these were the people who decided, rather than fix Warhammer Fantasy Battles, to nuke Warhammer Fantasy Battles and almost bankrupt themselves with Age of Sigmar. And now Age of Sigmar's been their redheaded stepchild game ever fucking since. These were the same people who, when they decided to make video games, rather than carefully curate people who would respect the setting, respect the lore, and make good games, shotgunned the license out to any Tom, Dick, and Harry game developer who was like, I'll make a Warhammer game, and then we spent a long-ass time getting nothing but dog shit. Like, actual dog water fucking mobile games and fucking... that one fucking... League of Legends MOBA game, like, about where you're like fighting in Cormorag's arenas or some shit. It's like we got so many awful games from that. Like, so yeah, no, I know how Games Workshop operates. It's like 26 years now I've been a Warhammer fan. I've watched them fuck their company up so many times. So no, they were not influenced by Amazon. I'm not going to bat for Amazon. I'm focusing on the criticism on people who are actually responsible. And that's Games Workshop. Games Workshop proves that going big is the best way to make an idiot. Yeah, exactly. I'll never forget when Angry Joe ranted about the one Warhammer 40k game where it's basically Plants vs. Zombies lane defense. Jesse, I remember that fucking game. It was awful. It was actually bad. Like, holy shit. Don't forget the really slow RTS Age of Sigmar game for consoles. You mean that recent one? Well, that just flopped because Age of Sigmar has no cultural impact. It kind of just exists, you know. It's kind of like Avatar, you know, the blue alien furry Avatar, to specify, where it just kind of exists and doesn't have any cultural presence, like, at all. Nobody cares about Age of Sigmar lore. Nobody cares about Age of Sigmar as a setting. Nobody cares about Age of Sigmar characters. Even the fucking people who claim to like Age of Sigmar don't like Age of Sigmar. They just can't admit it to themselves. So, yeah. You think it was published by Deep Silver, aka the guys who published Ride to Hell Retribution? What the fuck else? What the fuck else is Deep Silver published? They sound familiar. Why is this? Fuck. Okay, I'm gonna look this up now. Hold on, I'm looking this shit up. Because I think they actually published something I have played that I thought was awful. Hold on. Full disclosure, I've never played Ride to Hell Retribution. I just know it's hilarious. For some reason, I seem to remember. No. I seem to remember Stalker Clear Sky was published by Deep Silver. No, it was that was GCS Game World. So yeah, no, that was not Deep. What the fuck did I play that was published by Clear Sky Publishers? Hold on. Oh, not Clear Sky. Deep Silver. Okay, I'm looking them up now. What the fuck was it? List of their games. Sorry for the yawn. Warhammer Mark of Chaos. They published that, but I didn't play that one. Wildlife, no. But Wildlife Park, no. They did publish Stalker Clear Sky. I knew I wasn't fucking hallucinating. They did publish that. Okay. That was them that did that. All right. Like I said, I thought I was having a fucking early onset dementia schizo moment, but nope, they did publish that. What do you fucking know? Deep Silver has some good games in here, so they aren't total fuck ups. Maybe they got better later. Okay, they published Call of Pripyat as well. Okay, yeah, Call of Pripyat was good. I like that one. Oh, they published I think they published the Metro series. Yeah, they published the Metro series. Okay. You know, those are good. Oh, okay. They also published Saints Row, or at least the good Saints Row games, not that new one they made that was fucking, you know, ass and a cracker. I fucking hate that game. They're a mixed bag. Yeah, it looks like it. I mean, that's every publisher though. I can't think of a single publisher who only puts out nothing but bangers. But yeah. Right. I was gonna talk about something regarding right. I completely forgot. Trench Crusades. I was gonna make a comparison. Trench Crusades deep versus wide approach, and you know, because I was gonna bring that up. I was gonna bring that up before I went to the bathroom. I went to the bathroom so I wouldn't have to take a leak in the middle of talking about it. And then I forgot, and then we got onto other topics. I'm swinging back, okay? I'm swinging this back. Trench Crusade's current situation, like, in its current, like, you know, state, its current developmental state as a franchise, reminds me of the Kingdoms of Amalur franchise. Kingdoms of Amalur, for those who don't remember, it was this, it was meant to be like the next big hit fantasy franchise. It fell on its face. The people who developed it spent more money setting up everything than they could possibly earn back. They got R.A. Salvatore to like write the lore and I think maybe some books. They were okay. So here's the deal. The people who made Kingdoms of Amalur jumped into the whole thing, treating it like they could just have a big blowout genre-defining franchise from the get-go. Right? That was their deal. They entered the situation like, we can just do all the shit that Star Wars does, or D&D does, or whatever, what have you, you know? Like what every popular fictional franchise does, out the gate, and will be no different from them. And they spent so much money doing that, that they could never recoup the cost, that they could never earn that back, no matter how good the game was, because it was a video game, right? It was a video game at its core. No matter how good the game was, no matter how, how many people bought the game, it didn't matter. They could never earn that money back. They were in debt. They could never get out. So Kingdoms of Amalur fucking flopped. It then got bought up by another company. The IP got bought up, and they released like not like a remake, but like a remaster, like a remaster of the game. I think they actually finished up some of the unfinished content for the original game and released that too, that's cool. But it's kind of like a cautionary tale that I think Trench Crusade is falling into. They're falling into that trap, and that trap is that they think they can establish Trench Crusade as some kind of like household name franchise, and then but their problem is they think they don't need to actually release anything substantial to do it, because it seems pretty clear to them, they know that, just based on the Adepticon panel, they know the writing is on the wall, right? They're never going to be big. They're never going to have video games. They're never going to have novels. They're never going to have a real ability to release any kind of like a tabletop game at any kind of scale. They blame Games Workshop for this, but I'm going to be honest, that's cope. That is cope by the Trench Crusade lead devs. Because they're like, oh, Games Workshop has a monopoly on the market. No, they fucking don't. No, they fucking don't. Games Workshop does not have a monopoly on the market. It's just that no one tries to compete. No one tries to compete with Games Workshop. That's why they dominate. Okay? I've said this in my videos on Gundam Assemble and why Gundam Assemble is a threat to Warhammer. Because Bandai Namco has the drive to compete with Games Workshop. They have the drive and the ability. That is why they can compete with Games Workshop. You do not have the drive. You do not have the ability, Trench Crusade creators. So saying Games Workshop monopolizes the market that is a cope. That is not what a fucking monopoly is. Games Workshop does nothing to prevent you from releasing a game that can defeat Warhammer. They do not do that at all. They do not force you to be lesser than them, which is what a monopoly does. A monopoly forces you into either an inability to compete, like a legal inability to compete, or, that's it. It's like you can't get into the market because they buy you out, and they have no competition. Games Workshop has no competition for want of a competitor and no other reason. Nobody is stopping other people from competing in the tabletop gaming space. That's it. That's it. Battletech doesn't have any problem taking off because Battletech is forced to not be a competitor. Battletech can't take off because Battletech fucking sucks right now. It sucks donkey balls. It's woke bullshit. Okay? That is the reason Battletech won't take off. And Warhammer continues to succeed because not only off like the energy of the setting, the fact they're branching out into other mediums, other than books and tabletop games, the video games, etc., like the television, animation. That is why Games Workshop is taking off. They have a drive to succeed, even if they trip and fall and face plant, like with the female Custodes shit, like they do. Don't get me wrong. But they've got a drive to compete and to succeed, and that is why they're number one. Trench Crusade devs, whatever your company calls yourselves, I don't fucking know. You don't have that drive. You don't have that motivation. That is why you can't compete. Okay? Your greatest hurdle is not Games Workshop, it's yourself. You don't have the drive to ever beat Warhammer. That's why you never will. So trying to go with this strategy of just putting Trench Crusade nebulously out there and then somehow just being equal to Warhammer, that's never going to work. Because your setting is going to be stolen by other people, either just through the aesthetics or through actual fucking, like, you know, because literal copy paste and of Trench Crusade itself, they will do this to you. They will make their own version that will probably be better, and they will actually try to market it and sell it, which is what you're not trying to do. That is your problem, Trench Crusade. Honestly, more so than trying to kick the chuds out of your setting. That is your problem as a company, and well, you're not really a company. You're like 10 people with $5 million and you don't know what to do with it. That's what you are, Trench Crusade devs, okay? That's your problem. Honestly, more so than kicking the chuds, the chuds, air quotes, out of fucking Trench Crusade. That is your problem. And honestly, all those people, the problem with kicking the chuds out, as you called it yourself at your panel, the problem with that, you had potential unlimited free advertising from a group of people who were very, very, very upset at the game they loved the most, and you threw it in the fucking fire. You burned it upon the pyre. You burned all that goodwill from the people who, you know, actually have the money, actually have the reach, and actually wanted to see Trench Crusade succeed. Like that, like, those are your problems with your game. Until you publicly apologize to everyone you slighted, and until you actually buckle the fuck up and decide to make your game a thing instead of this nebulous concept like you want to, Trench Crusade will never amount to anything more than a name and an aesthetic. And that's how it's going to be. That's how simple it is. And I'm not saying this out of spite. This isn't spite. Like, I'll admit, I kind of, despite all that's happened, this is the honest to God's truth. Despite all that's happened, I kind of want to see Trench Crusade succeed. I don't really wish failure on anyone, okay? It takes a lot for me to wish that. I want to see it succeed, but, buddy, you're not taking the steps, okay? You're not taking the steps to make it happen. That's the problem, and you don't want to listen to criticism. You want to listen to the people who affirm you. You want to listen to the people who pat you on the back and say you're doing okay and you're not screwing up, you're not fucking up, you don't have problems. That's who you want to listen to, and that's why you'll never amount to anything. I just went off again on a rant. I just realized that. Hi chat, how you doing? I'm sorry, everyone. I am so sorry I was ignoring you for all that. Oh my god. You need at least one man whose job it is to tell you what you're doing is stupid. Absolutely. Like what is that? What is that? Well, like, what is that? It's like a actual, like, political policy that, like, Israel as a country has, like the seventh man or something. Hold on. It's like the seventh man or something like that. It's the seventh man's job is to tell everyone else, like, involved in, like, security of the nation, like the most out-of-pocket idea, like the most out-of-pocket theories, or generally saying, you're all fucking up, maybe you shouldn't do that, you know? It's generally his job to do that, and it's like, yeah, no, every company needs that, okay? Every company needs that one guy who's gonna give, like, the most out-of-pocket ideas, the most, like, ridiculous theories as to what might be going on. Or alternatively, just tell everyone they're being a fuckhead, and hey, you're fucking up. You're pissing your customers off. Fucking stop it, you know? It's why apparently, like, from what I heard, Japanese companies like to hire an American to join the company, because the American isn't going to be polite. He's not going to follow decorum. He's gonna like be honest and say the one thing that's like, you know, y'all are fucking up something fierce. Y'all are really fucking up, you know? He's not gonna, like, you know, bow and apologize like is so rife within Japanese corporate culture. He's just gonna tell them to their face, like, nah bro, you're cooked. You're cooked, you should fucking fix it, you know? More companies need something like that, honestly, especially as companies are trying to detox from DEI and woke politics. They need a guy like that. They need a guy who's going to tell them to their face the mean thing, the thing they don't want to hear. You know, that's what they need to, that's what most companies need right now. And holy fuck, the Trench Crusade guys need that. And this is kind of turned into a talking about Trench Crusade stream, despite the name of the thing. Okay, I fucked up. I apologize for that. The Loud American. Yeah, that's what it's called. The Loud American in corporate Japan. That is an actual thing, and it's funny as fuck. And it's also absolutely necessary. The court jester in the business world. I mean, yeah, because, I mean, people kind of forget that about the court jester. That was kind of the court jester's job, was to, like, you know, tell the king, hey, guess what? Here's that thing I can say as the court jester that nobody else can, you know? Like that concept, the guy who'll say the thing nobody else wants to say needs to be normalized in a lot of, in the business world. Because that guy might pull your ass out of the fire. If you have majority yes men and you need to have a no man, yeah, exactly. You can't just be surrounded by sycophants. You need the people who are gonna say that really uncomfortable thing that maybe you don't want to hear, but, you know, yeah. All that said about Trench Crusade, I'm still pretty delighted with the Death Commando for the Heretic faction mini my mate gave me. I mean, yeah, it's like, listen, I've always said I would be lying if I said the art design isn't awesome. It is awesome. It's an amazing art design. It's just, you can't just sustain yourself on vibes. You need to have more than that. Warhammer got where, Warhammer got where it is and keeps going where it's going off of way more than vibes. It's because it's especially because especially as they widen as well as deepen, they're providing ways for people to get into Warhammer. Like, when I got into Warhammer, the idea that you can just pick up a video game and have an awesome fucking Warhammer experience was completely alien to me, okay? Like the only thing we had in that regard when I got into Warhammer was super niche fucking PC games that you couldn't even buy anymore, okay? Like, they didn't sell them anymore at game stores, like nothing. And PC gaming itself wasn't in the place it is now back then either. Like, this is like 1998, okay? So yeah, when I joined Warhammer, we didn't have that. Was it 3rd edition? I literally bought Warhammer 40k 3rd edition the month it came out. Like, I bought the launch box for 3rd edition like that year in the month it came out. Like, that was when I got into 40k. And we didn't have any of this ease of access. We only had the tabletop game. There were some obscure ass video games you had to like even for the time, if you were a PC gamer, you had to hunt for them. Like, yeah. Busy playing Diablo. I don't think I was much into PC gaming in 1998, honestly. Like, I had my own computer, but I wasn't really gaming on it, you know? Yeah. So the idea that you could just go on fucking Steam or on your console, buy Space Marine 2, and have an absolutely kick-ass experience in the Warhammer universe, just like that. The people getting into it today really don't understand what it was like getting into Warhammer back when I did. And you honestly, it's like, that's why Warhammer continues to gain popularity, and why, you know, if you're trying to sustain yourself off vibes and good feelings, like, that's not going to work. You need to put stuff out there that people can get a hold of in an accessible manner, in an accessible, easy to consume manner. I know a lot of people don't want to hear this. You need to cater to the normies. You really do. And I think the problem is that with how bitter people have gotten over wokeness and DEI, too many people blame normies for, like, you know, they blame normies for the whole, for wokeness. I guarantee you this. Normies are not the people who brought the wokeness in. They're not. You need to appeal to those audiences without also sacrificing your vision for what your setting is, and you can do that easily. The problem is that the people who are woke, the woke.
General Kenobi.
Hi, VinCam, how you doing? We're talking about, like, you know, we're talking about like companies succeeding and appealing to the general audiences. Like, okay, but what I was getting at, you don't have to appeal to general audiences in the way that DEI and wokeness says you have to. Like, the way that wokeness and DEI says you have to appeal to general audiences is you have to give up everything you have to give up all of the vibes of your setting. You have to give up, you know, all the stuff that upsets people, all the stuff that might turn people off. Everything within your world must be inclusive, and, you know, all this stuff. That's what they say, and that's what they say attracts the general audiences, and it doesn't. It doesn't attract the general audiences. General audiences, normies, just your average Joe who doesn't know what the fuck a Warhammer 40,000 is, isn't attracted to that stuff either. And that's something people need to learn. There's a reason DEI and wokeness failed. It failed because nobody fucking buys it. It was like, that was the thing. It'll bring in the normies, the general audiences. They'll finally get into your setting. And then everything in Western entertainment stopped making money. It stopped making money. Nobody wanted to go to the woke Disney movies. The woke MCU, the woke Disney live action remakes, the woke Star Wars. Nobody wanted to see it. Nobody wanted to watch it. Nobody wanted to play the games. Nobody wanted to buy the comics. That's why it failed. If the normies would buy it up, even with Trump in office, we would still be dealing with DEI as an epidemic. But we're not. It's dying. It's on its way out. Not just because of, you know, legal precedent to get rid of it, but also because the companies that were doing it thought they were doing it for money. When it was obviously not about money, they were doing it for optics. Now they see the optics and they're like, oh, we don't have to anymore. And that's why you're seeing the culture shift. So yeah, you do need to appeal to normies to sell your shit. But appealing to normies isn't about making everything bland, cookie cutter slop. It's about making it accessible to them in ways they can pick up and understand. You know, it's not about the content. It's about the delivery vessel. That's why Space Marine 2 took off. Because Space Marine 2 is fucking easy to get into. You buy the game, you install it on your console, you pick up your controller, you murder heretics and aliens for a good, 6 to 8 hours, and then get on multiplayer, you murder some more heretics and aliens, or you murder your best friend who's playing a heretic. That's why Space Marine 2 took the fuck off. It wasn't because, appealing to politics, it wasn't because, turning everything into gray sludge that, normies can get into. Space Marine 2 was quintessential fucking Warhammer. And it took off because of that. Because it was quintessential Warhammer, which is fucking awesome, and it was delivered through an entry vehicle that anybody can pick up and like. Anybody can pick up and enjoy. And it was a quality product. That's why. And that is what people need to realize about the whole appealing to normies thing. Because that's how you properly appeal to normies. And I know no big business guy is going to watch this and hear me. I'm fully aware of that. I'm fully fucking aware of that. But that is why you can't blame normies for what happened to us since 2014. That is why you can't blame normies, because it wasn't them. Normies were the people being used as a scapegoat by the wokes to justify DEI. But the normies didn't do it themselves. Your average person didn't do it themselves. appealing to normies was just used as the excuse by the people who actually did it. And we can tell now, if you release a accessible product that does not betray the core of your product, of your setting, like Space Marine 2, you can make fucking $1 bajillion doing it. Like, I mean, look, another Warhammer example. Total War Warhammer. Total War Warhammer fucking... It didn't just save Warhammer... It didn't just save Warhammer Fantasy. It fucking resurrected it on tabletop. Okay? I don't think enough people understand how fucking huge that is. That tabletop game was dead and buried and never coming back. Okay? Games Workshop gave Creative Assembly the license for Warhammer Fantasy Battles because they didn't fucking care anymore. Okay? They didn't care because they realized, oh, we killed the game. We killed the game. Age of Sigmar flopped. No one will buy it again now. Whatever. Here you go, Creative Assembly. Make a fucking game out of it. The whole fucking thing, right? And they did. And you know what? Anybody could get into Warhammer Fantasy Battles through that game. And you know what? It made fucking gangbusters. It sold a bajillion games, a bajillion fucking DLC packs. Everyone fucking loved it. Even when it's going through a rough patch, people loved it. People went back to it. People play it. People still play it. It's like the Games Workshop saw that and they're like, holy fuck, what are we doing sitting on Warhammer Fantasy doing nothing with it? And that was why the Old World happened. So yeah, it's like nobody really gets that. Nobody in the argument really about DEI and wokeness and how it's ruined Western culture. None of them discuss that part. Like, and none of them discuss the part that you can appeal to the average viewer, the average Joe Schmo who doesn't know anything about your franchise. You can do that without getting political, without slopifying your fucking setting. And yeah, as much as I hate to say it, for Trench Crusade, when you kicked the chuds out, listen, chud is just a woke pejorative for normal people. You kicked out the normal people. You told them they're not welcome. You told them we don't want to appeal to you, okay? That's what you told them with a loud, unified voice as a company. You told them we don't want you. That is why you will be never more than a curiosity, even in the tabletop gaming space. Okay. Again, I went off again. I'm sorry, everyone. All right, let's read a little bit of chat. I'm super sad about the comics industry dying the way it did in the US. It makes me so sad. Okay, you know what? On that regard, on the comics regard, I genuinely think comic books will rebound one day, because those characters are immortal. They're immortal. They'll last forever in the cultural zeitgeist, even if comic books are garbage. It's just gonna take the industry is gonna have to detox, but they're gonna have to detox. The franchises will have to rest. It'll probably be a dark period of not a lot of content, but they will rebound one day. I firmly believe that. In fact, we may already be seeing the beginnings of it just through the fact that, all it took was Marvel Rivals taking off, and fucking Marvel brought back the Marvel Swimsuit Edition, or just hot superhero bitches on a comic cover. All it took was Marvel Rivals earning a shit zillion dollars, and they brought that back. So believe me when I say the message is loud and clear. The message is loud and fucking clear right now. And then you watch Adam Something lose his mind over Space Marine 2 because it's not no Russian 24/7. It's funny as fuck to me, because if Adam Something wanted a bunch of just borderline contextuous killing in a Warhammer game, Darktide was right fucking there, okay? And the funny thing about Darktide is even Darktide justifies the Imperium, okay? Yeah, what you gotta do is shit, but I mean, look at what you're fighting. Look at what you're fucking fighting. This literally a god of disease unleashing a whole fucking plague on a planet. Like, holy fuck. Some FromSoft games are a good example because a household name is sticking to their guns, but they made the entire point. Yeah, right? Like the Soul series has absolutely made itself easier to get into. But it hasn't sacrificed what it is and what makes it appealing. And so, and you know, like I said, Elden Ring made stupid fucking money as a result. Like I'd actually argue one of the reasons, like, I'd actually argue that after, you know, the previous entries, before it, Bloodborne was kind of a step back. Like, Bloodborne I felt was way more opaque, both in terms of, like in terms of gameplay than other, like, not like saying it, like, to make it easier, but the style of gameplay they went to kind of hurt it, I think. And that's why I generally think, you know, it's always going to play second fiddle to the Souls game in Elden Ring. You know, Souls games in Elden Ring. We'll have to see how that, you know, totally not Bloodborne game on Switch will do. But unfortunately, it's another exclusive. So, I mean, they butt-fucked themselves again with pure exclusivity. I understand what you're saying about normies, but there is something to be said about grabbing the hardcore enthusiast / niche fan. They're a much tougher nut to crack, but if you get them, you have a hardcore audience. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, believe me, that's the thing. That's absolutely a thing. I fully agree with that, Mortarian. But that said, you don't grow your audience by ignoring normies. You can't hold on to the niche forever. You know, people, even hardcore fans have to move on eventually for one reason or another. You know, the hardcore fan who sticks around forever is so rare. Like, that's why you can't rely on whales, and you have to try and bring new people in. And yeah, it's just a matter of not sacrificing what you are. It's about finding ways to get them in a way that the average person who may not know what a tabletop game is or whatever, you know, can get into it. Total War was already a good franchise, and they just made Total War with Warhammer Fantasy skin. I mean, yeah, but it's like, it is genuinely, you know, it's kind of like what happened with Dawn of War. Like, Dawn of War was a very similar way. Dawn of War got so many people who were PC gamers into Warhammer. Like, Dawn of War was honestly, with the Dawn of War, the release of that was the first golden age of Warhammer 40k. And the whole reason was because people who never even knew what the fuck a Warhammer is got into Warhammer, and the whole setting took off. And again, that wasn't like, you know, that wasn't appealing to like diversity and inclusion. That was just, hey, here's a really cool video game where you get to play, you know, power armored super soldiers who murder the shit out of things as a job all day, and the galaxy's on fire, and you know, you're really not helping. Like, that's really it, you know. You think DS3 and Elden Ring are the best games mechanically, but Bloodborne is totally and utterly captured. Bloodborne is an awesome setting. I genuinely think it's not a very good game. It is not a very good game, but it is an awesome setting. But that just circles back to the Trench Crusade principle, where the setting is cool. They need to flesh it out a bit, but the setting is cool. But it's not a very good game. Like, the game itself is just honestly the worst aspects of Hero Hammer, but without justifying it with like fucking large armies. You want Bloodborne to come to Steam? It's never going to come to Steam. The fact that FromSoft had to release not Bloodborne as a sequel is all you need to know about it. Like, that's all you need to know about it. That it's never coming to Steam or leaving PlayStation or getting a remaster or anything. You remember once commented on Pancreas No Work video. If you were isekai to 40k, you probably wouldn't be a guardsman. You'd probably be a Hive City resident. Listen, I'm just going to be completely honest. The whole, if you were actually isekai into Warhammer argument doesn't work because it's a fictional setting. It's not real. You can be whatever the fuck you want in Warhammer, okay? within the boundaries of the lore. You can be whatever the fuck you want. You want to be a space marine, be that. You want to be a sister of battle, be that. You want to be a custodian or a sister of silence, or you can even be the fucking menial who cleans the shit after a battle if you buy a Power Wash Simulator with the Warhammer DLC. You can literally be that's why if you were in Warhammer, you just be the guy mopping the floor is a stupid argument, because you'll never be in Warhammer because Warhammer isn't real. But you can certainly play a bunch of shit related to Warhammer and have fun as those things. Build an army, etc. You know? Read some fiction. That's why it's such a stupid argument. Like, trying to against like fans of the Imperium. It's like these people genuinely don't understand fiction. You know, it's fictional. You can do whatever the fuck you want with fiction because fiction isn't fucking real. DS2 mentioned. I'm guessing by DS2 you mean Dark Souls 2. Hold on. Trying to be a ganger in a hive city. Okay, look, unironically, fucking Necromunda. That's what you play as. That's the whole point of Necromunda. Actually, if I was a Warhammer 40k, it'd be a space marine. Well, you know what? I mean, I'd say that just to piss off the kind of people who'd be like, you wouldn't be a space marine. It's like, yes, I would. Gigachat.jpg, you know? Like, yeah. Like, that's how simple it is. You'd never be a space marine. Okay. I'm gonna go fire up Space Marine 2 right now. I'm now a space marine. Fuck you. You'd be Alpha Legion. Listen, I'll admit I'm not a fan of the Alpha Legion, but I mean, hey, listen, I won't judge. All right. You said Dark Souls 2 is better than Bloodborne. Okay, okay. I'm gonna make the spicy hot take here. Dark Souls 2 is better than Bloodborne. Dark Souls 2 is a better game than Bloodborne. Go ahead, clip that. I don't care. Fight me. Fucking fight me. Okay? Okay, you know what? It's my unfiltered dog shit opinion, but it's my unfiltered dog shit opinion. Dark Souls 2 is better than Bloodborne as a game. I think Bloodborne is the better setting, largely because, you know, I'll stand that Lovecraftian shit until the cows come home, but Dark Souls 2 is a better game. Go ahead and fucking clip it. I don't care. I gained a bunch of followers recently. I don't mind losing some. Dark Souls 2 is a better game than Dark Souls 3. No, that I'll disagree with. I think Dark Souls 3 is a better game than Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 2 is the worst Souls game, but saying it's the worst Souls game is like saying, oh, you only won $1 billion versus winning $3 billion. You still won a fucking $1 billion, you know? Dark Souls 2 hate is getting really overblown. Like I get it. Like, I get it. Mahler's video is about why Dark Souls 2 sucks. Is super popular, but it's time to let go. Okay. By the way, full disclosure, because I've been doing the the Dark Souls remastered seamless co-op playthrough on stream. Full disclosure, Yui, the developer of the seamless co-op mod series, announced she'll be doing Dark Souls 2 seamless co-op. So Dark Souls 2 seamless co-op on the streams is coming. It's just a matter of the mod coming out. And then, so we're gonna do the whole fucking trilogy. There just might be time between 1 and 2, you know, waiting for 2 seamless mod to come out. Dark Souls 2 Dark Souls 1 levels. Okay, you know what? The problem with Dark Souls 2 level design, Dark Souls 2 level design is perfectly fucking fine except for that one elevator. Like, that's it. Like, if you switched, like, okay, so let's say you switched it out so the elevator in the back of the top of the tower, after you beat that Medusa boss, if you swapped it out for some kind of teleport mechanic, it would be perfectly fucking fine. Like, that's it. That is like the one off moment that everyone clings to in Dark Souls in Dark Souls 2 for the level design. It's like, you know what? I'll even disagree. It's shit level design. That elevator is shit level design. But it's really time to realize that was the one big face plant in Dark Souls 2 level design. The rest was fucking fine. Okay? Look, I like Dark Souls 2. I'm tired of pretending I don't. I will go Joker mode on this shit, okay? You think the worst Souls-like level is the Code Vein Cathedral? I've never played Code Vein. I've heard good things about Code Vein. I've just never played it, unfortunately. Ooh, I'm getting kind of hoarse from all the talking. I'm taking I'm taking a drink in a while. All right, you know what? Hold on. Okay, hold the fuck on, everyone. We're gonna do this classic style. Am I muted? Oh yeah, I'm muted. Okay. Who is currently streaming? Okay, I've been going for about 2 hours 30 minutes. We are going to raid someone. All right. Okay. You know what? Small is playing GTA 5. I'm gonna send y'all on the Twitch end of things to go watch Small and Strong. Small. Oh wait. Raid Small and Strong. Did I get that right? There we go. Okay, stream setting up for y'all on the YouTube end. If you want to go watch them, this is how you spell their name. That's how you spell their name. If you want to go, all right, wait, yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's who we're rating on the Twitch end. If y'all are gonna want to go watch that, I will catch you all next week. I will have a schedule up by either later tonight or tomorrow. Keep an eye out for that on YouTube and Twitter. So yeah, later everyone. Take care and have a good day.